Hello! So it's been a really long time, but I am finally back for another episode of Basic Sex Ed. And lately we've been covering different methods of birth control and different facts about birth control. So today we are covering the tried and true, long time used method of condoms. Now you have several types of condoms, although they're all used the same, other than the female condom, which we're not going to cover in this video. But you do have several different kinds. The first and most common, of course, is your latex condom, with and without spermicide, with and without lubricant. But they're latex condoms. They market them in a whole variety of different ways. When it comes down to it, I kind of think they're pretty much all the same. They protect you all the same. They pretty much feel all the same. So you have your latex condoms. Then you have your latex condoms that are flavored. And these are used to protect you when doing oral sex. If you're wondering if you can get STDs from oral sex or how you get STDs, please check out my series on STDs, because you can get them from oral sex. So it's really smart to use a flavored condom when performing oral sex on somebody if you are not in a monogamous long-term relationship and you know that your partner is completely STD free. Then we have your non-latex condoms. For a long time, the only non-latex condoms were lambskin. They were very expensive. They don't cover or protect you against STDs, but they did prevent you from getting pregnant. Then they came out with non-latex. And that's great because a lot of people, myself included, are very allergic to latex. In fact, I'm so allergic that if I touch anything latex, like exam gloves, or there's actually a huge variety of things that are latex, my throat closes up and I have to use my rescue inhaler. So I always use non-latex. And they have just come out with polyisoprene, I think I'm saying that right, condoms. And these are two brands that have this new material, or new to condoms, and they are incredible. This one is actually my favorite. I just think it's incredible when you use this with some really quality lube. You can barely tell that you're even using a condom. So for those of you out there who know you need to use them, but you hate how condoms feel, you really might want to try a non-latex condom, because I think there is an enormous difference. Now, things you need to know about condoms. First of all, they absolutely do expire. And the expiration date, well, let's see kind of the blue writing in here? You'll always have an expiration date on the back of every one of your condoms. And make sure you never use a condom that's past its expiration date. You're taking way too big of a risk if you do that. The other thing is you do not want to, let's see if I can tear this without tearing it open. You don't want to take a single condom, guys. You don't want to take a single condom and stick it in your wallet and end up sitting on it day in, day out. Because as you sit on it, you're putting pressure and wear, and it's rubbing back and forth, and there's heat. And this is actually going to break down the condom, and you're going to have a much higher likelihood of it breaking on you eventually. And obviously, if the condom breaks, it's pointless. You're then exposed to any STDs, and you run the risk of pregnancy. The other thing is you don't want to throw it in your glove box, because the heat in a car will wear it down. You always want to use a new condom with every time you have sex. I know that might sound really obvious, but you would be amazed at the stories I've heard. In fact, I have to tell you a story, and I know some of you guys complain that I go on way too long, but I have to tell you this story. There was a case in a town I was living where, and this was told by the teacher in my psychology class, had to deal with this case. Someone had, there were two couples that went out, and a guy had used the condom and had sex with his girlfriend in the front seat of the car. And then, since they only had one condom, these two couples only had one, they turned it inside out, and then the other guy used it. And the girl in the back seat actually got pregnant with the semen of the guy in the front seat. So, while it seems pretty obvious that you don't share condoms, that you don't use them multiple times, I guess it's not really all that obvious to everyone. The other thing, of course, to remember with any act is you never have anal sex and then go straight to vaginal sex. You're going to want to change condoms in between. Or if you're not using condoms, you're going to want to wash up in between. Many companies actually make firm, like plastic little pouches that can go in your purse or in your pocket or wherever, and that actually kind of protects it from having that wear and tear. Girls don't throw condoms in your purse and leave them there. That's not a good idea. So, treat them with care. Don't be rough on them. They're made thin so you can actually feel something. So because they're made thin, again, you can't, don't put a lot of wear and tear into them before you ever put them on. Now, speaking of putting them on, some people think you unroll it and then you try and put it on. That is not the way you do it. Of course, what you do, I don't think I'm going to actually take one out, but you're actually going to put it on the head of your penis and then unroll it onto yourself. That's how you do it. And you're going to want to leave a little bit of room at the tip. So beyond the head of your penis, you want to take a little pinch of condom and then roll it down. Because when you ejaculate, the semen needs a place to go. And if it's on really tight, it sometimes can cause it to break. So you're going to want, they typically are created with what's called a reservoir tip. But you're going to want to make sure that tip has room there to collect the ejaculate. One question I'm often asked is, where can you get condoms, and is there an age limit on how old you have to be to get them? The simple answer is that there is no age limit, and you should be able to buy condoms from anywhere, from a drugstore, from a supermarket like Walmart, from a grocery store, a pharmacy, anywhere like that. Every so often I have heard stories of pharmacists or clerks refusing to sell condoms, but it's extremely rare and there is absolutely no law that supports that. So especially if you go to a large store, like a large grocery store or supermarket, then you should have no problems getting it. If you cannot afford condoms, you can go to your local county health department. Oftentimes you can go to the school nurse. Most schools have programs where you can get condoms for free. There's many places that you can get them. In fact, if you just do an internet search, you can probably find places in your area. But definitely the local county health department will be able to give you free condoms. So there's never any excuse to not use them. They are so incredibly available. And of course, condoms are quite effective as long as you know how to use them, as long as you follow all the steps I cover in this video. So, and of course, remember, they're one of the only ways that you can protect yourself from STDs. So not only are they great at providing birth control, but they're also great at protecting you from any number of STDs. So if you have any questions about condoms, please leave those questions below and I will definitely try and answer them. I think that's about it for Condoms 101. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Love you all. Mwah! Bye.